HGC China is back, new challengers have appeared, and all teams need to prove themselves once more. And Tetra and I are back at it again as well, enjoying the new studio. Well, we're not live there, but we still enjoy it. Enjoying the new music, and most importantly, all the action that's going to go down, and that has gone down yesterday already, man.
Indeed, we had some very good games yesterday, including some of our new teams, and of course, pretty much all of our teams that have had a roster change, which was all of our teams except for CE. So seeing how new rosters gel together was very cool, including the ascendance of Kudo's top KT, where they were able to take a 1-1 versus the ex-Titans Super Perfect team.
Yeah. And speaking of the Super Perfect team, Tetra, they are going to be the team that is going to kick things off in the first best of two of the day. And I'm personally very excited about them because they are the, how should I say this, the most successful Chinese team in modern history, if you exclude E-Star, who are no longer existent, unfortunately. So SBT used to be, you know, the big name to look up to when talking about the Chinese scene, but they haven't really been performing as of late. Ever since the departure of Jin Zhao, you know, Molly couldn't fit in there. They tried desperately to fit someone into that gap. And up to this point, Lucky, who came over from the One, by no means a bad player, they just couldn't do it. They only played 1-1 against KT, which is supposed to be a mid-tier team at best.
But instead, KT were able to, as you can see right now, with a game in hand, mind you, take the top of the table with 4 points. A 2-0 in their first series and a 1-1 in their earlier series, putting them at a solid 4 points. 1 point ahead of CE, the One, and BTG, all of which were able to score a 2-0. Team Nuts, though, also with a two series under their belt, were also able to score a single 2-0, which is another 3 points.
Yeah, but they have a tough schedule to face themselves here today. Team Nut is going to have to play none other than the One. They played 2 games yesterday. That means they're only going to play 1 today, but that one is going to be quite the mountain to climb here. And then we have another team, or several teams actually, to talk about. A-Team, one of the other new teams, one of the new challengers that have arrived in the Chinese League this time. Not really looking as good as their rivals from Team Nut, but certainly not a team to be underestimated ever.
The A-Team is unfortunately looking a little bit shaky, a little bit more work to do, but there's always more opportunities, there's always more opponents to face, like there's always RPG, there's always Team Nuts themselves, seeing those two new teams face off against each other. We will have to wait and see how that goes. As I get lag on stream, I'll fix that in a second. But overall...
Yeah, I also had a quick stutter.
Yeah, it's been very stuttery today. I had one during the loading screen as well.
Don't get me started, Tetra. We're praying to the old gods and the new to have a good clean feed.
What did you just stutter to? That's a question.
That we can check.
I am on 920.
I'm still sitting at a solid 7.9. If you can
damn, I'll pause down to you.
Yeah, if you can get anywhere close, that would be amazing. But
Boom,
of course,
easy. Immediately 6.69.
Doom, done it.
Doom? Well, you tried to say boom, but you ended up becoming a supervillain. Doom, done it.
Actually, that's exactly what happened. I'm a supervillain in real life. People must not find out. My superpower is crushing someone else's MMR.
This is why he didn't actually show the picture of the lady boss during his wedding Twitter selfies, because he needs witness protection program and all that.
Exactly. My real lady boss is a mean kitten that I like to pet and touch every now and then. All right. First game is at hand, guys. We're going to introduce a team that has looked pretty good yesterday. Beyond the game, always considered to be one of the top 3, top 4 teams in the region. But they weren't able to really overcome their opponents in the previous phase. They fell down to the One, CE, and SBT consistently, and as such, they didn't qualify for either the Eastern Clash in Taiwan nor the Mid-Season Brawl. So is it the time of Beyond the Game's comeback? That remains to be seen. From now on, and what we've seen yesterday, I think it could be.
It definitely could be. They have a little bit of a mountain to climb, but it is possible. But unfortunately, that mountain is going to be their opponents in this particular matchup. And now, though, we are seeing LLK actually tied second youngest player in the league. with Meng still consistently being the youngest, and there are several other players who also share his age of 18. But you can also see very flexible player here, or playing the flex role for his team, along with 3.
Yeah, very true. So LLK, a super talented player, and I think if there's one thing that China definitely isn't short of, it's talented assassin players. You mentioned Meng there, you mentioned LLK, also a super good talent, and we see this man here leading his men into battle once more as the team captain, Aluful, former support player, now a godlike ranged assassin. Definitely so scary that other teams are not getting tired of banning away his Tracer or the Genji from it.
Yep, very. It's an acceptable strategy, banning away Aluful consistently, and there you can see hiding there in the corner. It is 365, their support player.
Yeah.
One of the other interesting ones, especially seeing as the other ex-pro player who turned caster, is currently casting for the Chinese side with Genshuo over there, but he changed his name, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's now Mafang, or something along those lines.
Something like that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we can see here, being highlighted though, is Juyu, the ex-ranged assassin for the team, now turned melee flex offlaner. So the Sonya is the name of the game for him consistently.
Absolutely true. He also had a good Sonya game yesterday. CE wasn't really challenged that much. They had a clean 2-0 over their opponents yesterday. But this might be a different mountain to climb for them as well, because CE, they're not by no means a perfect team, right? They still show signs of weaknesses every now and then. They had a wonky performance at the midseason brawl. I personally expected a little more of them. So yeah, you never know what you're going to get in China sometimes. The roster of teams is very stacked at the moment, but the numbers, of course, they speak a very clear language. But mind you, these numbers, especially KDA, they are accumulated data from all the faces we've had so far. And still, 32 seems very high. I'm not sure what happened.
It's over double BTGs. That's mental.
Yeah.
But honestly, not surprising. CE, the last 2 seasons especially, have been pretty dominant outside of playing against SPT and on the odd occasion the 1.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And as such, we're going to take a look at the first battleground here. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen. Very cool to see that.
Being open.
Excuse me?
Ooh, I see a Braxis being open.
Oh, and you know how CE sometimes likes to go to Braxis.
Exactly, the sneaky Braxis. They also have Dragonshire, which they have an absurd win rate on in HGC China. But either way, we are heading into the first draft of the day.
By the way, since I saw the question arise in chat again, when you have these player introductions or team introductions, the numbers below the players, they actually refer to the respective stats. So if you have a support player there, that means the healing done on average, for example. If you have a tank player, that means damage absorbed on average per game. And if you have an assassin or flex player, it usually means damage done on average per game. So just as a reference here, it's not the prison number that some people were suggesting. They're not looked for villains in China. They are free people.
Every single Chinese HGC player is doing their best Tychus impression. Prisoners taken and forced to play in the most important esport. As we see Malfurion picked up as first pick with Genji Hanzo, Genji Tracer being banned out.
Yeah, and yesterday, I think, especially if you're into the support meta or if you like to play support characters in general, we saw a really interesting shift in preference, right? The playday yesterday started off with a lot of Alexstrasza, and then it shifted over towards a lot of Malf prioritization, and most importantly, Decker Kane also coming in swinging and being quite the contested support. So let's see what the game day today holds in store for us. What about the Open Division in Europe that you were also casting, Tetcher? Was it completely different from what we saw in China? I guess it was in some kind of way, or was the meta, for the most part, just very same, very equal?
It was mostly samey, but a little bit more Western in terms of the picks. Like Jaina wasn't as prioritized, a little bit more Gul'dan, etc. There was, however, a lot of these heroes, like the Phoenix, like the Maiev, all these heroes coming out every now and again.
Yep.
Everything currently normal. I had a slight lag, so I'm a slightly...
Same here.
I'm back to 6 something.
You're back to 6. We're gonna double check on that. Sorry, guys, we're casting off a clean feed. I'm currently sitting at 9, so we're going to do a quick refresh. Currently sitting at 5.
I'm
5-7.
That'll do.
That'll do.
Close enough.
Always reminds me of Ned Flanders. That'll do. Daddly do.
Daddly do. Diddly doodly. I used to be able to do a good Flanders, can't anymore. As Diablo is banned out, very sensible. Remove that lightning breath from the combo, and with Jaina already taken away, we're moving down into Thrall territory, which is possible. We've seen Thralls paired with Maiev a fair amount recently, actually, and even Thralls paired with Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze actually has had a huge priority in China. Finally, they were probably one of the last regions to truly appreciate the power of Blaze as a bruiser and protective warrior. For now, though, he has not really been picked up to this point, but it wouldn't surprise me if CE maybe wanted to go for it, because once, as you said, the Maiev plus the Phoenix, that is a scary damage combination. And the bunker would certainly help out to mitigate some of that damage. I had another quick stutter.
I did, but it was a micro stutter, so
yeah.
I'm just going to
I think we're going to be fine.
I'm on exactly the same. I've jumped up like a third of a second, maybe, at max.
I mean, we're going to find out in the game then. There we go. There comes the Blaze. And there comes the Stukov as well. That is an old familiar face that we have been kind of missing in HGC China, haven't we, Tetcher?
Yeah, the Stukov sort of disappeared for a while, but it has returned this time, and that makes a lot of sense. Stukov versus Maiev is a classic counter. You have the heals, which are spread via proximity, meaning that if everyone's in the Warden's cage, yes, everyone's getting healed then, that's wonderful. And if not, then Massive Shove is a great way to say, no thank you, Maiev, we do not want any today.
Yeah.
Much bigger lag.
Same here. I think, you know, we're just going to leave it. I think it's definitely not on either of our side. So it's definitely going to be on the Chinese end. We're actually
happening, though. We still need to be synced for the cast.
Just going to let production crew know.
Yeah, 9.43 when you have time.
Yep. So you were 9 seconds?
Yeah, 9.43 without refreshing.
Okay. I'm still sitting at 6.7-ish.
Keska, what? There is the Thrall. Called that earlier. And Johanna, I will try and pause down to you.
All right, Thrall.
5-11, that'll do.
Pretty amazing. Like, yesterday we saw two major enablers of the Phoenix combo, and that was Thrall with Earthquake or the Diablo with Lightning Breath. And since they already have a Johanna as their main tank, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to say that you don't really need another main tank, right? So what do they go for? They go for a soul laner, most likely a Thrall. They go for a strong synergy factor there as well, which I really, really like. So CE, on the other hand, they do have good protective measures, but they still need a little bit of oomph in their combo. And I don't think Alufal is going to play the Jaina. That sounds more like a KTY hero to me. So maybe the Genji's banned. Maybe the Tracer? Maybe the Greymane?
Makes a lot of sense. And there a Junkrat appears. I'm ahead of you a bit.
You're ahead of me?
I think I am, because I saw that Junkrat a little bit earlier.
Okay. That we shall fix.
Yeah, I am 6.68.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do a quick refresh here.
Yeah, I've also messaged in our support group.
There we go, amazing.
Not the game one, our just general support group. We're
all right, I'm sitting at roughly
of the rank 1.
5.4.
It's close. I can try and pause down to you.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna try as well.
Over a second.
Yeah. But the good thing is the good news.
Boom.
There we go. Boom. The good news is, guys, we would rather have these slight desync issues now than later in the middle of a game. So the production crew is aware of it, and they're normally very eager. The Chinese peons are very eager to get to work and provide the best clean feed possible.
Yeah, exactly. We have to do with work with what we can. And then we will... Either way, looking at these drafts overall, it's not a bad draft from BTG at all. It's very combo-focused, but they have a lot of combo. So they have plenty of opportunity to be able to work their way through that.
Yep.
So yeah, that should be alright.
So here we go, guys. First game is about to start. We've got CE versus Beyond the Game. And we're going to have our first series coming up strong here. On Tomb of the Spreader Queen on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, we've got Beyond the Game represented by 619. On the Johanna, LLK is playing the Maiev. Then we have Druid on the Malfurion dancing on that Phoenix. And 3 is playing Thrall. Had another one.
And on the right-hand side, it is Challenge with Alufal is on Jaina, Wind on Garrosh, 365 on Stukov, KTY is on the Blaze, and Zhuyu is on the Junkrat.
Alrighty then.
Ooh. I like Minion Box, haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. Looks good. All right, so we have a very pokey, we have a very ability damage heavy backline on the side of CE. Is that going to be enough damage? The Junkrat probably wouldn't have been my personal choice of preference. However, the Junkrat offers, you know, a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem in those fights as well. You can really interrupt combos with your concussion mine. You can really keep enemy engagers at bay. Which could be a huge benefiting factor for them. And once again, we have a little bit of a change in role distribution. Look at that. Zhuyu is back on the range, it seems. He's playing the Junkrat this time, whereas KTY fills in this time on that Blaze.
I think that might work better, honestly. I
think so too.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. So Zhuyu, once again, the X-Ranged assassin for the team. Did play a couple melee assassins when he felt like it as well. KTY, though, both of them are really good solo laners. Like, we reiterate all the time. Zhuyu is the kind of player who can win a solo lane against a Dahaka as Proteus. So it's not too surprising to see him on the solo lane a fair amount. But KTY also really, really solid. So overall, they just have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, I'm going to say it this way. KTY is a player that won't make you lose a game, but Zhuyu is a player that will make you win a game.
That's a fair assessment. I can understand and dig that. Mercenary Cap picked up very quickly by BTG, maximizing their rotation usage here, as 3 returns to KTY, who is just going to continue to try and zone him out. CE also taking a Mercenary Camp. They're delaying the cap of it, though, which is good, because BTG also are intending to try and grab the same Mercenary Camp. So if CE were to take theirs so much earlier, it would have likely already have pushed up to towers by the time this camp was taken, meaning that their Mercenary Camp would already be dead, and the enemies would get a chance to push mostly uninhibited.
Yeah, really, really good stuff here coming out. I really like it when teams delay their mercenary camps a little bit, like 365 is doing for CE here, because that means if they had capped this mercenary camp early, right, they were faster at clearing it, they were having a fast rotation there, then what would happen, guys, is their mercenary camp would push towards the enemy towers, and look at that, BTG actually wasn't as patient, they weren't as calm and collected as CE, and now their own mercenary camp is going to get slaughtered by the towers of the enemy team, by the enemy team's heroes and mercenaries as well, and in the end it's going to be CE who will have the slightly stronger push.
Exactly. Most of their mercenaries have been wounded at least a little bit, but with that spell shield, it's still going to be enough. This Phoenix is basically on his own in terms of the wave layer, which makes it a little more helpful due to that that wizard mercenary only giving spell armor as opposed to physical armor, so Phoenix can actually burn those down with his phase bomb pretty quickly. Maiev double tether, but into a wall, so it doesn't pull them very far.
Here we go. That was a good attempt by the Maiev for sure, but no kills happening as a result. Good stuff coming in from CE here. But yeah, you can also see this slight mercenary maneuver, as I want to call it, being reflected here by the gem count in the bottom right. 38 already in favor of CE compared to the 9 gems that Beyond the Game was able to turn, right? So by playing the map a little more patient, by playing it a little more smartly, should I say, you make sure that you dominate those turn-in points because you keep your opponents distracted and, you know, tied in the middle. And let's see who gets that first turn in. We've seen pretty disastrous snowballing effect against, I believe it was the A team. I'm not 100% sure. But if you can't avoid getting the enemy team on the turn in once or twice in a row, then you can potentially never find your way back into this game. While Zhu is losing his life, unfortunately, potentially buying time for Jaina and Blaze to turn in their gems. 47, are they going to have enough? Yes, they do. That was tactical feeding at its finest, Tetra.
This seems to be CE's theme. They always give away first blood, but they usually win games.
Yeah.
So cool to see. Either way, though, BTG on the warpath and me on the lag path.
I shall join you on that lag path, so you don't feel that alone.
Yes.
But I don't have stutters. I just have, you know, like a frozen frame. That's what I'm having.
KTY and Zhuyu, by the way, have all 3 of the top times for Thrall stacking this quest.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to see. Very CE dominated. 619, little bit of bullying onto Wind. Wind tosses 619, but 619 on Johanna in double twirl is used, silence is used, and they are in a pretty safe position. The disengage is complete. Except for Alufal, who decides to disengage himself by engaging.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how I like this Stukov into, you know, the draft that Beyond the Game has assembled. because the Stukov is really like one of those counters, right? You have a Maiev trying to go for a Warden's Cage, you have a follow-up combo by, let's say, the Thrall and the Phoenix, but a good and well-placed silence into the Warden's Cage can basically thwart all these efforts. And look at Alufal on the Jaina, body blocking as well, so they get the kill on the Johanna. It is CE going for yet another body block, and only thanks to the entangling roots here by Druid is Thrall safe for now.
Yeah, very nice route, very much saving the day there. Good job, Druid. As everyone else pulling back to go for the turn-in, but sneaky moves here. LLK gonna get at least another 14 in, so they're up to 36 now out of the 50. Whereas CE still trying to soak up for another turn-in of their own, wanting to chain them together. As this sneaky mercenary camp trying to give them a taste of their own medicines being taken. Alufal, yeah, gonna port back, gonna get some mana out of this.
Absolutely, and I like the way CE is rotating around the map. Not only did they establish themselves a comfortable 1-level lead towards the race for 10, but also did they push out all the lanes. So even if Beyond the Game were to get that turn-in that they so much desire, the Web Weavers had to march a long distance, and if you compare the Web Weavers to the objective, the Cavalry on the newest map, Alterac Pass, you will notice that the Web Weaver aren't really that scary if they're pushed back, because they will lose health gradually over time when summoning their Spiderlings, when summoning the Purple Wave. So yeah, the further you push your lane in, the less threatening enemy Web Weavers are going to get.
Also, for having more legs, they are significantly slower, as we do see Dancing moving in. Actually, they barely have more legs. They have 8 legs, as far as I'm aware. Whereas the Cavalry, if you count the people riding them, have 6. Either way, we see both teams grabbing their bruiser caps, this time timed pretty synchronously. So they're going to be able to try and meet in the middle and try and burn some stuff down with the AoE that Zhuyu, Alufal, and Dancing offer.
Yeah, and I really like to see more Johanna in HGC China, by the way. It's so cool to see her in almost every game right now. She did receive a couple of changes, and many people weren't really sure, can Johanna still do it? Is she still a top-tier viable warrior? And China, at least, seems to say yes. We saw Timeless yesterday on the side of KT do miraculous things with her. What about the European Open Division? Is there a lot of Johanna as well, or did they focus and prioritize other warriors a little more?
Say again, sorry.
What about the European Open Division? Was there a lot of Johanna as well, like in China?
There was. There was a lot of Johanna, a little bit of Diablo, not as much as China, but we saw a little bit of Diablo, always more Garrosh. Garrosh tosses Johanna back into the silence, so she can't Iron Skin again. But either way, she's still able to walk away because she's Johanna, and even without her ability, she's still relatively tanky.
All right. Here we go. We see the Web Weavers coming in. Sieging has begun, and that is the second turn-in consecutively in favor of CE. So the middle fort is very likely going to fall in. Look at that bottom lane. It really seems like Beyond the Game has never been able to really de-push it ever since the Siege Giants had done their shady business here, ever since he had pushed in. The taunt goes in.
The toss, though, is not enough. No, sorry, that was Bolt of the Wardens. As we see Garrosh being able to back up, Jade is pinging in some damage. Looks like we might see a single tower go down. Other than that, CE struggling a little bit to get any kind of engage angle. The Water Elemental pressuring Johanna, though. They're able to pick up the kill here. LLK gets tossed, but the follow-up Groundbreaker does not land. Does, though. And down it goes. And the fire with the Silence doing huge damage to 3. But he's still able to back up. And Zhuyu goes super deep. Oh my god! Druid barely survives. Zhuyu barely survives, taking tower damage. And yeah, CE picks up 2 kills, very nearly 4.
Clutch survival on both sides. I think that was still, in the end, a very successful attack by CE. They managed to get the gate and towers in the bottom lane, which could, of course, lay the foundation for a stronger push with these Siege Giants and the Web Weavers later on. But here we see another replay of that fight. Here we see the pop-up here, the burst damage onto Johanna. No main tank there to peel for the backline anymore. You can see the Warden's vault as well. Perfect target then for the Riptide to explode on. And Thrall just barely making out alive, only to fall, almost fall there with Malfrey in there. Super close for Zhuyu, but he escaped death just barely himself, so he can't be too unhappy about it. Look at CE though, flank.
Exactly. Speaking of escaping death, Dancing is going to have to, as he gets stunned.
53 gems.
Another toss, beautiful taunt, silence, and goodbye. What a nice engage. That was just poetry.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So it's safe to say that Beyond the Game is now bankrupt. They have no more gems in their pockets. That was the last they had, 53 gems. That feels mighty painful. And those web viewers could have been the stabilizing factor, maybe the one factor that allows them to come back into this game. But CE, they just played it perfectly. 365 with a 2-man stun and a root follow-up. Wonderfully executed. And I think actually after this play, it's safe to say that nobody should ever disrespect or forget about Stukov anymore.
This is true. He's always, he's very situational, but the fact is, he's still really, really good. As the push into the top lane, the final remaining 4, it's dropped low, but no overcommitment. There's no need for overcommitment. They're already a talent and a level and a bit, 2 levels, in fact, ahead.
Are they going to have enough for another turn? And no, they need a couple more. Sure. Only 35. They need 6 more, 2 left in the pocket, so that means 4 more in total. So just 1 minion wave, 2 minion waves, and they should be Gucci.
Unfortunately, all the minion waves are pushed up, so they're struggling to get to minions.
Yeah.
Pop is neutralized, so they might be able to grab stuff here, or in this area. Unfortunately, this is where BTG are, so it would be very risky to try and take the gems from here. Luckily, BTG being forced to back up. They don't really want to fight here, due to the fact that they are levels down. But they do want to just keep poking and try and interrupt. Yeah. This is enough gems, though, for KTY, if he's able to just pick one more up. As a Lufel, though, pulled in. The silence is good. Bunkai gets in. Riptide comes in, gets 3 members. Huge amounts of damage here. Roll is just dropping everything.
No way.
A large heal from Stukov keeps a Lufel alive. In comes the salvo. Only on 2 members, 3 members here. As Wind able to survive with the armor. Tevin to pull him back as 365 is in danger. KTY with the dash, but he gets pulled back. The Emerald Point gets the kill.
That was a fine kill on Blaze. I think KTY just slightly mistimed his dash there towards the right because he was still affected by the Maiev tether. However, he didn't have any time to waste anyways because he would have died if he had hesitated a little bit longer. But a Lufel survival there on the Jaina was really, really important. It looks like Zhui also fell prey to Beyond the Game. This is a sign of life here. This is the stabilizing factor and maybe the launcher for that comeback that BTG was looking for.
They've got a turn in, they got 2 kills. This is their best opportunity to start getting stuff done. 365, those being a troll, just trying to deny this and delay this. I just lagged.
Yeah, I've got a couple of freezes there as well, but I think the freezes are fine. They're not going to affect our latency.
Yeah, I get buffers with the freezes.
Ah, okay.
So you're still around 7-ish?
We can find out here as Beyond the Game is pushing in. Trying to get some structures. They're much needed. Yeah, I'm sitting at 7.4.
Okay, I will come down to try and come down to you.
So these structures now will definitely help Beyond the Game to close the gap here to try to get to level 16. And as we saw here in that last team fight, the combo of Beyond the Game is very scary if they find the right angle to engage. It's not like they have been outdrafted. It's not like their heroes have no value anymore because they were falling banned 1 or 2 levels. It's just that they weren't able to find the right spot to fight yet because of CE always taking the initiative over their opponents, right? So the moment they are in the driver's seat, the moment we see a good Warden's Cage, a good Maiev engage like we did in the last team fight, they can totally swing this around.
As here comes, though, another turn in by CE. It's so far 1 fort to 2, what's about to be 3. As top fort, I will be very shocked if it survives.
Yeah.
But BTG looking to try and make it survive by picking up a kill before the web weavers really arrive. Did Lufel spot them? He has now. As LOK moves in, Bless Shield. Goodbye, Mr. Lufel. Nicely executed kill. Not even burning only a Bless Shield in terms of heroics. And now they're going to be able to pull back, begin working on that web weaver.
It looks like 619 has taken a page of Timeless's books here. That looked like a very Timeless-esque engage here. Really waiting for his teammates to get into position and then use the Blessed Shield in maximum distance to get that unexpected kill or unexpected initiation on a target like Jaina. Really beautifully done. By the same token, though, the Jaina focus, of course, left the bottom lane a little open because they had to rotate all the way across the map. So the keep is probably going to take a little bit of damage while the top fort is definitely going to fall, but there was nothing to be done about that anyways.
The Giants also go down here. Little bit of pressure onto the mid lane still to deal with, but BTG, it's a safe position for them to defend, and everyone from CE appears to be done as they want to posture for a boss. BTG, though, they kind of know, so instead CE set up a trap. They baited the boss. Unfortunately, Zuyu has revealed himself, and we do see Maiev has scouted this area out, does know they're not doing boss, so instead just going to turn in what few gems they have.
I gotta say, Beyond the Game has done a really good job at getting those gems back into their pockets, right? They lost 53 gems earlier. They were down to almost 0, but already they got 60 gems back and are threatening yet another pay-in. So CE is definitely going to have to posture around these turn-in points, maybe use their long-distance poke abilities here to set something up just like that.
My. Nicely done with the engage from Garrosh. Riptide onto LOK, completely denies the Umbral Bind along with the bunker, and everyone was able to dodge the Purification Salvo with that bunker as well. Super nicely done, and Druid delivered oh so kindly onto Zhuyu here, who is actually taking a lot of damage. Flailing Swipe to try and disengage, but Johanna's having none of it. He picks up the kill. Druid still out of position though, still getting chased down. He's actually going to escape. They got baited by Johanna. They'll get the kill. Oh, they get the double kill. Okay, Worth. Not Worth, as he does trying to escape here. It's just back and forth, stop playing with my emotions, CE.
Yeah, I have no idea how Druid actually survived there. That was such a cheeky chase.
Scouted?
By CE. No, they're not going to scout him. That is a very unexpected location for him to teleport back. And sometimes if you out-mind game your opponents, then they're not going to find you. Beautiful juke there in that case by Phoenix. But here we're going to take another look at that picture-perfect engage. The double silence. The taunt is just right there as well. And now look at the bunker. Completely dodging the Maiev damage while the Riptire is still causing her to get blown out of her socks here. There we go. And unfortunately, we don't get the nice turnaround here. But that was still a pleasure, and we're definitely going to keep that in our memories. Looks like Jaina is now fully stacked on her ice block, which is always a welcome tool.
Oh yes, having that defense, especially against Maiev, is going to be absolutely huge, so really big deal there. In the meantime, CE, just once again setting up a little bit of a trap. Wind in the most predictable position possible.
Absolutely true. Sometimes you just need to show the presence, you know? And with that last team fight, by the way, Tetcher, all the gems they had, Beyond the Game that is, were once again dropped here. And they're now miles away from getting a turn in, because not only don't they have enough gems, but also CE is controlling the map very, very carefully. Now, level 20 is around the corner for them as well, so it's going to be even harder for Beyond the Game to find a good engagement, right? Because they don't want to fight a talent down. So maybe they're going to make something happen right now, or they're going to have to wait and play more patiently. Because, let's face it, all the keeps are still standing.
All the keeps are still standing, but CE have enough for yet another turn, and they just need to find an opportunity to actually get to it. They wait for their opportunity. Finally, KT White going to begin turning in. This will be one short from what they actually need, so they need someone else to actually get a gem in. Looks like it's going to be Zhuyu. So now they're going to push up. Can they actually kill Johanna? No, Iron Skin is used, and the route right after Iron Skin would be about to expire, as level 20 is already available for CE.
Yeah, in this game, if Johanna uses a very premature Iron Skin, it's not going to be that much of a big deal because she chose Hold Your Ground at level 1 as well, which not only increases the shield value of your Iron Skin, but also lowers the cooldown for small amounts, so she's going to have it ready more frequently. So, the turn-in has been completed for CE. Nothing for Beyond the Game to really be done about it. But can they hold this game? They're definitely going to lose this keep. The gate and the towers have been destroyed earlier, but can they defend the core? Can they stay in the game, Tetcher?
It's going to be interesting. It's 5v5, level 20 not available. It's potentially 4v5 as 619 getting focused down. The bunker is used very effectively. Riptide has already weakened everyone down. The fire is coming. Ice block, purification salvo mostly, but Luful still gets taken down. Win also low. KTY doing the majority of the frontlining here as it is only Jaina getting taken out. KTY will absolutely fall here as well. So nice defense and level 20 acquired by BTG.
Yeah, definitely a good and nice defense by Beyond the Game, but also an overly aggressive engagement, reckless engagement, I would even say, on the side of CE. True, they end up getting another keep on the bottom, which is definitely some good permanent damage that they were able to get under their belt, but were they really forced to go all the way to the core? Were they really forced to go all in? I think if they had played a little more patiently, the top wave would have actually gotten the last remaining keep as well.
Possibly. I think they were just feeling greedy because every time they've done that so far, it usually netted them a kill.
Yeah,
in this case, it just did not work out in their favor. Jada went far forward to try and get a burst, instead got herself out of position. Used bunker, used ice block. It was very nice, but it was just not enough.
Yeah, and I like the decision here, the determination by Beyond the Game. Here comes a Riptire trying to go onto Mouth. and Maiev. And this fight is not over yet. I think Beyond the Game took a lot of damage in that boss fight. Look at Junkrat's poking damage.
So the question is, CE going to try and execute something here? They got the silence. They move in, just a side toss on Johanna. Looks like they're just going to weaken everyone down just to try and prevent them pushing with this boss.
I think that was a very interesting maneuver. So with that major silence and the garage distraction, they brought everyone low, and they're now forcing the team fight.
Clutch shield, the indomitable spirit of Phoenix, allowing him to survive the nice knockback, but Dancing still goes down. But he tanked for a really long time. 619 also a bit indestructible, basically his own indomitable spirit, but he is getting chased down by Jaina. Jaina will be able to grab him back through the slows as Druid is now alone, fleeing for his life. Slows from Blaze. This is potentially the worst chase combo with Blaze and Stukov trying to catch Malfurion. They can't do it. He's too fast. Oh, here comes the loophole. That'll do it. Finally, Druid will go down. That's going to allow CE to push in for the core.
Man, and with that 25 armor reduction, thanks to Jaina's 16 talent, there was just so much burst coming through on that Malfurion, and they popped him. They have 3 members dead on the enemy team. Only Thrall and Maiev left alive. That is a lot of damage, mind you, if they land a good combo. But what are you going to do when your core is already down to 40%? And with a clean execution there towards the end. Oh, that looked like a Maiev Wonderland here, but too bad she got bursted down. CE takes game number 1. And Tetcher, I can't stress enough how cool that last play around the boss was. The silence, although they were 2 members down, they played that so carefully. You know, also wind on that garage causing them to take a little bit of extra damage. And then around the turn-in area, that's where the trap really snapped.
Yeah, I really did think that CE